While Mississippi has decided to lease 80% of the oyster reefs in the Mississippi Sound to private companies not popular with local fishermen, Ryan Bradley, director of Mississippi Commercial Fisheries United, is here to talk about that. Thanks, Ryan. Always good to see you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So you say this is unfair to the local oystermen. Why is that?
Well, for many years now, the local fishermen have suffered through the disasters that we've had with the Bonnet Carré spillway and the different oil spill situation. And we're finally starting to see our oysters coming back very well, and our fishermen have a chance to recoup a lot of the losses that they've had since all these disasters.
Now, there is some precedent for this. Louisiana, Texas, it's being done other places. How has it worked in these other states?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of nuanced differences. It's really hard to compare Louisiana and Texas to Mississippi because every area is different. Our Mississippi Sound is completely different than these other areas, and there's a lot of difference in how these states run their programs. For example, Louisiana lets their private leases take everything off the public reefs and transplant them to their private leases, and that's what helps make Louisiana's model work.
Now, DMR, which is the state, says they can't afford to maintain and restore these reefs on their own, and that by bringing in these private partners, that helps them defray the cost. You don't think that's a legitimate argument?
We believe that the natural environment provides for most of the oyster recruitment and growth. Certainly the work that DMR does help this, the situation, but what we see drives the oyster production is general good water quality and good weather, and that's the main driver of the productivity of the oyster reefs.
Now, this is a law now passed by the Senate and in effect in Mississippi, and you and I were talking a little bit a few minutes ago, and I said, why don't the companies pay the local oystermen to work the reefs, and that way it's a win-win, but that's not in the law.
Yeah, no, it's not mandated in the law that any of these fishermen will be able to work on any of these leases. It will really all up completely to the leaseholders.
Well, I think the Senate, I think the state should have made that part of the deal.
Yeah.
Would oystermen be happy if that was the case?
Well, you know, that may be something for them to consider. You know, we do have two now different pieces of legislation that are alive in Jackson to revisit the oyster leasing program, and we're going to be looking for options that can protect the heritage and culture of our traditional oyster
you were
fishermen.
up on the Capitol. As a matter of fact, we have some video. You were up in the Capitol just yesterday where you were trying to enlist some allies. What was the reception?
Yeah, you know, we had over 30 commercial fishermen, most of the oyster fishermen, up at the Capitol yesterday, and we have a lot of support from the lawmakers. They hear the concerns of the fishermen, and I'm very confident that they're going to work with us to find an equitable solution.
And finally, just a few seconds left, what would be an acceptable outcome for you moving forward?
Well, the fishermen want to completely repeal this and keep our reefs 100% public. That would be the best outcome. I think maybe if we can limit the private leasing to maybe just 20% of our reefs, that may be a compromise that the fishermen are willing to consider.
Ryan, always good to see you, and good luck, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you, sir.